Just look at Venice this morning, where Amazon founder Jeff Bezos got married in a star-studded ceremony. A city that seems impossible to exist, but still exists beautifully. New videos and photos show the mega-rich billionaire and his new bride getting married on a private island. They spent more than $50 million, rented out an entire island in Venice, flew in 90 stars on private jets, and were still called cheesy by the internet. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez wanted a wedding the world would never forget. And they got it, but maybe not in the way they thought. From the awkward Vogue cover, the Kardashian appearance, the rumors that celebrities were paid to attend, the wedding dress that was criticized for being torn, and the carpet that looked like it came straight from the Amazon office. This wasn't just a wedding, it was a real media circus. So, why is everyone talking about this wedding? And does it really expose everything that's wrong with modern billionaire culture? Let's break it down layer by layer, because this wasn't just a cringe-inducing moment. It could have been a disaster disguised as a wedding dress and stage lights. From the moment the first drone footage of the wedding was released online, it felt staged. Lauren Sanchez, in just marrying one of the richest men in the world, she's also stepping into a whole new identity. Just days before the ceremony, she deleted her entire Instagram, leaving behind just a carefully curated post. The message was clear. This wasn't just a wedding, it was a personal rebranding. Gone was the TV reporter replaced by a Kardashian celebrity on the rise and promoted as a product launch. And Jeff, he was no longer the tech billionaire hiding behind a spreadsheet. He was suddenly a media mogul, waving, posing, and gliding through Venice like he was auditioning for the lead role in The Bachelor Billionaire edition. And strangely enough, at least for the tabloids, they succeeded. Vogue gave Lauren an exclusive interview with the bride. The paparazzi were carefully tipped off, and every angle of the event was meticulously controlled. But the public didn't buy the story because behind the glitz was something forced, something unnatural, a suffocating feeling that everyone was shouting, "Please look at us." It didn't take long for the internet to start asking, did Jeff Bezos really pay celebrities to attend his wedding? And let's be honest, the idea wasn't that absurd. Forums like Reddit exploded with theories. Instead of radiating joy and festivity, many of the celebrities looked stiff, even embarrassed. There were no real moments of intimacy, there was no spontaneous laughter and no indication that these people even knew each other. It all felt like a Hollywood movie set with a green screen backdrop. Perfect on paper, but completely lifeless in real life, and that only added to the confusion. Was this a wedding, a party, or simply a staged performance? And then there he was, Leonardo DiCaprio, the face of the global environmental movement, who narrated the climate change documentary Before the Flood. Now he ducked his head under a black baseball cap, trying to go unnoticed as he entered Jeff Bezos' $50 million jet wedding. And the internet exploded. This wasn't just a little bit of contradiction. This was hypocrisy. In high definition, Leonardo has spent years warning the world about rising sea levels, carbon footprints, and the consequences of the unbridled consumption of the super-rich. And now he happily rubs shoulders with the very people who are fueling the environmental catastrophe he once denounced. One netizen quipped, "Save the earth unless it's free champagne and a photographer from Vogue." Another called Leo the ultimate eco-hypocrite who hides behind sunglasses while flying to Venice on billionaires' money. And what caught the attention of the internet? He was wearing the same old hat. Not a fedora, not a tuxedo accessory, just a black baseball cap pulled low over his face as if he was ashamed to be there. The internet was quick to notice and they started to mock. The meme went viral. One captioned it, "This is Leonardo DiCaprio's formal work concept." Another post quipped, "Looks like the planet and the only thing he's abandoned." And it's clear, it's not just uncomfortable. It reveals a deeper truth, because when even celebrities who are considered woke are bowing their heads and walking silently into your wedding, something is definitely wrong. Lauren Sanchez didn't just walk into a wedding, she walked straight onto the cover of Vogue alone in a wedding dress framed as a symbol of royalty. To some, it was a fashion triumph, but to many others, they saw something deeper and more suspicious. Anna Wintour, the legendary editor and chief of Vogue, had abruptly resigned just before the magazine's cover was released. The public immediately connected the dots. Was this a coincidence? Or had Anna quietly refused to be associated with an image that she believed was manufactured, not natural fame? Because this wasn't a trend-setting couple. It was a billionaire and his fiancée, someone who many believed was trying to be the next Kardashian. They posed like A-listers trying to project an image of status they never quite achieved. And then the carpet. Yes, the carpet, a detail so small that it seemed almost unnoticed, yet so inescapable. Photos from the wedding showed a sea of pale gray carpet, so uncharacteristically bland it looked like it had been ripped straight from an Amazon warehouse. The scoffing was immediate. $50 million and they chose a carpet for a corporate boardroom. The carpet quickly became a symbol of tasteless luxury, soulless excess, and money thrown at form without anyone stopping to ask, is it really beautiful? The entire wedding felt impersonal. It felt like a PowerPoint presentation dressed up in Dolce & Gabbana. And the more you look into the details, the more calculated, artificial, staged everything becomes. The confusion began with Lauren Sanchez's wedding dress. The custom-made Dolce & Gabbana gown featured a tight corset, long sleeves, and was surprisingly heavy. An odd choice for a summer ceremony in Venice. Some called it elegant, but others said it looked more like a winter funeral than an Italian romantic dream. Fashion critics said the dress made her look older than her years, stiff, and most importantly, it didn't look like Lauren at all. Not the bride, but a celebrity cosplay. And then there was the Kardashian-Jenner guests. They were all there, but almost none of them looked happy to be there. Kim Kardashian wore her signature tight dress, but her face was ice cold, blank, emotionless. Khloe looked like she was either overheating or trying to sneak out of the ceremony. Kylie Jenner's dress was also the subject of some discussion. People couldn't tell if it was actually ripped or just poorly designed. Either way, it didn't look like it was fit for what was supposed to be the wedding of the century. Kris Jenner's look initially received rave reviews until someone commented, "She looks great, but she's finally starting to look her age." The comment was sarcastic, but accurate. Despite her facelift, the fatigue was evident on her face. Sydney Sweeney, meanwhile, showed up in a dress that reminded people of a high school prom at Macy's. Cute maybe, but for an event of this size, it felt out of place, like someone had invited her in at the last minute, and that's what people kept pointing out. Nothing about the ceremony really clicked. Not the guests, not the fashion, not the atmosphere. It was like someone assembled an A-list cast for a movie, but forgot to write the script. For all the money spent, nothing about this wedding screams love. It screams communication strategy. Looking at the guest list, you begin to sense that this isn't a wedding. It's a PR event. Oprah, Leonardo DiCaprio, Usher, Jerry Seinfeld, Sydney Sweeney, Tom Brady, Ellie Goulding, the Kardashians, the Jenners, even Ivanka Trump. All these names, nothing in common, no history, no circle, not a reunion of close friends, but a collection of big names selected for the camera, not for love. And then it seemed like everyone was just counting down the minutes to get back on their private jets. If Jeff and Lauren were aiming for intimacy or authenticity, they had completely failed. Because this wasn't a celebration of love, it was a personal brand launch party. A new celebrity brand carefully produced, with every detail scripted for social media and traditional press. They weren't trying to be private, nor were they trying to be exclusive, they were simply trying to be famous. And if you thought things would end after the ceremony, no, the fanfare continued. A few days after the wedding, Lauren Sanchez showed off a huge new ring, an upgrade that made the original pink diamond look like a rehearsal dinner. There was no traditional wedding ring, just a single gemstone that took up the entire knuckle. sending a clear message to the world. This is power, but criticism quickly spread. Nearly 90 private jets reportedly flew guests to and from Venice. One tracker found that Kim Kardashian's return flight to Los Angeles alone cost an estimated $33,000, not to mention the massive carbon footprint. All this while ordinary people were arguing about student loans, school lunches, and basic health insurance. The contrast was devastating. The internet was abuzz with comments like, "This is what happens when the super rich run out of things to do. The ridiculous is back and richer than ever." The money spent on this wedding could have changed the lives of many, but instead it only bought an office rug and a few Instagram photos. One viral post summed it all up. "This isn't a wedding. This is a master class in everything that's wrong with modern billionaire culture." Because when you flaunt thumb-sized diamonds and fly 200 people around the world for a photo shoot, you're not just rich, you're out of touch with reality. You want me to write the conclusion? You're not just rich, you're completely disconnected. So, what's the point of all this? A lavish wedding? A celebrity spectacle? Or is it something much deeper? Many believe that Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez are not just getting married, they're launching a new version of themselves into the global spotlight. Lauren, from a TV host, is moving into the world of influencers, social media icons, and social media icons. And Jeff, the tech giant, is trying on the cool billionaire image. An image that is no longer associated with career or innovation, but with fame and headlines. But today's public is not so easily fooled. People see through the flashy PR, the huge spending, the messy guest lists, and the forced smiles. This opulence isn't inspiring. It's empty. The whole scene feels tired, and the backlash is inevitable. Because in a world where billions of people are still struggling with basic needs, a $50 million wedding is no longer just a party. It's a statement. Money can buy almost anything, but not respect. So the question is this the future of celebrity? Are billionaires branding themselves with diamond rings and private islands? Or is this just a last-ditch impulse, a desperate act to stay in the spotlight in an increasingly cynical, sober, and unsentimental world? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.